Alright, we're gonna start doing some exercises on the present simple. Okay, so I'm gonna do the exercises and translate them into English. So let's start with this one. So here we have regular verbs, verbos regulares. That means we only have changes at the end of the word. So basically we just drop the AR or ER or IR. We add the different suffixes, either O or AS or AMOS, etc. etc. Remember, we have three patterns or three conjugation. One for the AR verbs, another one for the AR, another one for the IR. And remember, the ER or IR are basically the same, except for vosotros and nosotros. So let's get started. Mi hermano habla inglés. So we need to type habla. Let me open Notepad so you can see the word. So, mi hermano habla inglés, francés, italiano. So my brother speaks English, French, and Italian. 2. Nosotros. This is we por la escalera de incendio. So we need to say bajamos. Bajamos por la escalera de incendio. So shall we get down through the fire escape? Or literally the stair of fire. Yeah? Number 3. ¿Qué estudiar vosotros? So, vosotras estudiáis. ¿Qué estudiáis vosotras? What do you guys study? Here we use this one for a group of girls. Oh, ¿qué desayunamos? ¿Qué desayunamos? What shall we have for breakfast? So desayunar is a verb. It comes from desayuno. So desayuno literally means breakfast. Okay. So desayunar is the action of having breakfast. It's the verb, okay? Okay. Número 5, 5. Tus padres no escuchan. So we need to use the nd because we talk about they, your parents, okay? So your parents don't listen to nobody or to anybody. So nadie means nobody. So this is how we say it in Spanish, okay? We need to use double negative in Spanish. 6. 6. ¿Dónde ustedes? So, ¿dónde trabajan ustedes? Remember that usted, ustedes has the same conjugation as él, ella, ellos. In this case, ellos, because we are talking about a group of people, okay? So where do you guys work? This is like a formal way of addressing someone. Remember, Latin America, this is more common than in Spain. 7. Tú cerca de la universidad. So this is tú. We always have an S at the end. So tú vives cerca de la universidad. So as you can tell by now, the AR verbs always have an A there. So an A, sometimes only an A, sometimes an A and something else. For the other two, basically the letter is going to be E. But there are two exceptions. The two exceptions are going to be when I say vosotros and nosotros for the I verb, where it's going to be an I instead. So with this verb, for example, if I want to say we live, I will say vivimos. And you live, it's going to be vivís. For the other ones, you always going to have an E. Okay, either for ER verb or IR verb. So an E, sometimes something else, yeah? Okay. 8. ¿A qué hora? Las clases. Entonces, vosotros acabáis. So, ¿a qué hora acabáis las clases? At what hour? So this is literally hour. Of course, it just means at what time. So this is how we say it in Spanish, okay? So what time do you guys finish the lessons? Okay, las clases. 9. María y Verónica nunca me... So we talk about Maria and Veronica. This is ellos, or ellas actually. Ellas, because there are two women. So, saludan. So whenever we have they, we're gonna have an N. And before it could be either an A or an E for the two conjugations, okay? So it's not that difficult actually. Number 10. ¿Por qué no me? So, ¿por qué no me? So, tú, remember tú has an S at the end. This is an AR verb, so explicas. ¿Por qué no me explicas este ejercicio? So, why did you explain this exercise to me? 11. ¿Qué hambre? So, nosotros always end in a MOS. And before it's gonna be either a, it could be either an E or an I. Since this is an ER verb, it's gonna be an E. So, comemos. Right? So, que hambre literally means what? Hunger. So basically this is like saying so hungry. Sorry? Oopsie daisy. So, I'm so hungry, que hambre. Comemos algo. So, shall we get something to eat? So, algo means something. Alright. 12. Para formar el plural. So, in order to form the plural, añadir means to add an S. So, we talk about you guys. This is an IR verb. So, añadís. Remember, for you guys and we in the IR, instead of having an E, we're going to have an I instead, okay? So, you're going to say añado, añades, añade, but. Añadimos, añadís, añaden. Alright? Remember, this is not an N, this is actually a different letter. This is ñ. So it should be pronounced differently. 13. Ustedes. So again, we need an N. So, compran. Ustedes compran cada sábado. So you guys buy every Saturday. True, right? 14. ¿Por qué no le? So, A, and we need an I and S. Preguntáis. ¿Por qué no le preguntáis cómo se llama? So, why don't you ask him or her how she or he is called? So basically, this is a way of saying what's her name or what his name is. So this is how we ask people their name. So we usually say how, yourself, myself, whatever, then call. So, ¿cómo te llamas? What do you call yourself? ¿Cómo se llama? Me llamo Javi, right? So on so forth, right? 15. So, repartir means to hand out photocopies already. So shall we hand out the photocopies already? This is repartimos, of course. So we always have this mos for nosotros. And before could have either an A, an E, or an I. So this is an I because this is an IR verb. Okay, so remember when we talk about we or we talk about you guys, vosotros, you could have the three vowels. E, I, or A. For the other cases, it could be only two vowels. It could be either an A or it could be an E. Never an I. So, 16. Disculpe, excuse me. Madam, señora. So, buscar, this is an A verb. So, remember you always have an A. And then you're going to add MOS. So, buscamos. So, excuse me, madam. We are looking for the city hall. So, this is how we call the city hall. El ayuntamiento. Quite a long word, isn't it? 17. 17. So, llegar, double L is a different letter as well in Spanish. It's called elle. So, should be pronounced ya, right? So, tarde means late, like always. So, this is vosotros. So, with vosotros, you're always going to have an IS at the end. So, and this is an AR verb. So, llegáis. So, sorry. Llegáis tarde como siempre. So you always get late as usual. 18. ¿Cómo? So pronounce Guernica en español. So, ¿cómo pronunciamos? So notice here we have an A. Because this is an AR verb. And we have a MOS, of course, because we talk about nosotros. So, ¿cómo pronunciamos Guernica en español? 19. ¿Qué? Correo. So here we talk about this word. Okay, we ask about the meaning of this word. So signify. Okay. So what does correo signify? Well, of course, it's gonna be quite easy. Significa. Please we talk about this, right? So ¿qué significa correos? What does correos mean? Of course, correo is the Spanish post office company. 20. So como, this is an IR verb. So remember for IR verbs, when you have vosotros, you're always going to have an I there, and then S, so escribís. So como escribís vaca, con V o con B? So how do you guys write cow? Is it with a V or a B? 21. So, deletrear ustedes. ¿Cuál es? So, ¿cómo deletrear ustedes su apellido? ¿Cómo deletrear su apellido, por favor? So, how do you spell your surnames? So, in Spanish, we have names, nombres, and surnames, apellidos. We usually have two surnames in Spain. First one is our first father's surname, and the second one is our first mother's surname, usually. But it doesn't have to be like that, okay? Anyway, and yes, we do have compound nouns as well. So people might have only one noun, might have two nouns, names, or even three names, or even more. So it could be quite long. 22. So this is tú. ¿Qué libro lees? Sorry. ¿Qué libro lees? So what book are you reading? So remember this tense could be both do or are doing. Okay, so it could be translated into ing form as well. Okay, it depends on the context. So 23. So yo, remember with yo we always have no. This one is the easiest one. So it doesn't matter the conjugation. It could be AR, it could be IR, it could be ER. You're always gonna have an O at the end. So necesito. Necesito to you. I need your help. Pablo. 24. Mis amigos aprenden. Mis amigos aprenden español. Of course, my friends are learning Spanish. ¿A qué hora desayunas? Normalmente. So what time do you usually have breakfast? Mis padres siempre pasan las vacaciones. So my parents always spend their holidays or vacations on the beach. And 27. Estudiar. This is yo. As usual, yeah. Studio. Studio means so I'm studying medicine. Or study medicine, doesn't matter. 28. ¿Por qué no denuncian? So why do you report the theft to the police? So denunciar means to sue or to report, could be both, okay? 29. Siempre llamáis por teléfono a las 12 de la noche. So you always call by phone at 12 at night. 30. Usted. Sorry, I made a mistake. Llamáis. Like this, okay? So, usted repara coches. You fix cars. And use this form, which is more formal, but then again, Latin American, they use more usted than tú. Yeah, it's a matter of accents and whatnot, yeah? So, 31. So, creéis en los extraterrestres. So, do you guys believe in aliens? So, this one means from outside the Earth, basically, yeah? So, extra means from outside, and terrestre means Earth, right? Mi madre, so my mother. So, my mother cleans. We say limpia, of course. Sorry. So my mother cleans the whole house on Saturday. Okay, this one was quite easy, I suppose. So let's make it a little bit more difficult. So we're gonna add this on this other change. So it's quite common in Spanish to have verbs with diphthongs. Okay. So instead, for example, in this case, many verbs with this E. So this E is in the middle of the verb, okay? And this E gets changed into IE in all of these forms. So it gets changed for the yo form, it gets changed into tú, él, and ellos. But not so for the nosotros and nosotras form. So remember, it doesn't matter if you are talking about a regular or irregular form. For these two, you won't get a change in the middle. Unfortunately, for the other ones, you might get a change in the middle because you are using an irregular verb. So basically in Spanish, a irregular verb means it has more than one changes. So here we're going to work on this change. Also, you might have this G, but this is only for the I form, yo, okay? So there are like 15 verbs with this irregularity, as we call it in Spanish. Okay, so tener have this G, and venir have this G, and also have this other change for the other tense, the other persons. So like tú, you say tienes, right? For example. But remember, never for nosotros and vosotros, or nosotras, vosotras, okay? So as you can say, for example, here, this is to start. So instead of saying empezo, you say empiezo. So you should have this diphthong. So this is a ye in Spanish. So e gets split into ye. It's like you introduce this e sound before the a sound. Okay, so ye. So empiezo, empiezas, empieza, but empezamos, empezáis, empieza, right? So I get started. So a veces, sometimes, no las explicaciones. So what do you think is going to be? What is it? I think it was up there. So entiendo. So a veces no entiendo las explicaciones. So sometimes I don't understand explanations. Dos, ¿a qué hora empieza la clase? So here it's going to be empieza because we're talking about la clase, the lesson. So what time does the lesson start? I don't know. This is another regular form. This one you should have to learn by heart. So I don't know, it's no lo sé. Just remember this expression because we use it a lot. No lo sé. I don't know. Literally, it's like I don't know about it. Okay, so this law is like it. Number 3, tres. Pedro nunca miente. So Pedro never lies. So yeah, you get this diphthong in the middle. Yeah. 4. Los niños normalmente merienda. So, merienda means to have a snack. Okay, so merienda is the verb. Merienda is he has a snack. It could also be the noun, by the way. It could also be the word snack by itself. So, kids usually have a sandwich as a snack. Like merienda is like the meal we have at 4 or 5 more or less in Spain, just before dinner or fast supper. 5. Mi hermana. So yeah, this is the first is gonna be diphthongized. So pierde. So mi hermana pierde las llaves a menudo. So my sister loses her keys frequently, a menudo. 6. Mi profesora y tú nunca so this is gonna be rice. Why? Because I'm talking to vosotras. I'm talking about you and my teacher. You guys, okay? So that's why I'm using the vosotros form. And remember for this one, no irregularity. So you don't get a diphthong here. Okay? And since this is an AR verb, we're gonna have an A and then the IS. So my teacher, you never close the classroom. So classic will also be classroom. 7. Tú siempre vienes a la escuela en autobús. So, yeah. So remember this one? You say vengo, I come, but you say vienes, you come. So, tú siempre vienes a la escuela en autobús. So you always come to school by bus. 8. 8. Hoy, yes, you get the diphthong. Hoy prefiero quedarme en casa. So today I rather stay home. Or I prefer stay at home. 9. Nosotros, right, not diphthong in the middle. Just the normal change. So you have the E because this is an IR verb, and then the LMS because this is nosotros. So nosotros queremos ir de vacaciones la semana que viene. And remember, for some verbs after this querer, you use the infinitive verb. So you use the verb in the dictionary form, the infinitive form. Okay, so no, you don't really say voy vamos here after the querer, okay? So you just need to change the first verb here. So nosotros queremos ir de vacaciones la semana que viene. So we want to go on holiday the week that comes, or next week. So this is how we say the next week, the week that comes. Okay, so viene, as you already know, comes from the verb venir. Of course, you could change this. You could also say el año que viene, next year. You could say el fin de semana que viene, so the next weekend. Okay, up to you. 10. Yes, vosotros nunca calentáis la leche, so you never heat the milk. And 11. ¿Quién enciende el fuego? Yo. So who turn on the fire? Me. So notice here we actually say I instead of saying me, okay? So it's, when you say it's me, what you actually say in Spanish is am I, soy yo. And last one, it's not clear. So I'm gonna read it. ¿Qué restaurante me recomiendas? Let me type it. Oops, sorry. So, ¿qué restaurante me recomiendas? Okay, so what restaurant do you recommend me? Okay, next one. Now we're going to talk about O turning into UE. Of course, you need to have an O in the middle of the verb. Okay. By the way, this does not mean that every verb that has a ni or an O in the middle gets this change. Okay. And remember, we don't always change this, as you can see here. So, for example, this is to have, come back or go back, to sleep. So you get this UE in the middle, except for nosotros, vosotros. So all goes to we. So colgar, cuelgo, cuelgas, cuelga, colgamos, colgáis, cuelga. There's a weird verb, which is to smell. You get this H. And again, these two are always regular, no matter what. So even in irregular verbs, they are regular. Meaning you only get the ending change, not a change in the middle of the verb, okay? So let's get down to work. 1. Las historias que cuentan son muy interesantes. So let me type cuentan. So the stories they tell are very interesting. So notice the stress here, interesantes. 2. ¿Sabes dónde están mis gafas? So do you know, ¿sabes? Where, ¿dónde? Are my glasses. So notice here the verb is placed before the subject. This is quite common in Spanish when you have a linking word. So like you have donde, okay, something like that. You should invert the verb and place it before the subject. Okay. So do you know where my glasses are? I don't find them, so no las encuentro. Of course, you get this O, and you get this way. No las encuentro. So do you know where my glasses are? I can't find them. Or I don't find them. Literally. 3. So poder. So can you pass me the salt? So puedes pasarme la sal. ¿Puedes pasarme la sal? Of course, you get the S because we talk about tú. If you want to use usted, as simple as to remove the S, and that's it. So not that difficult. Alright, I think once you master these changes, it's quite easy actually. But of course, you need to master it. That requires a lot of practice. Number 4. Estos pantalones cuestan demasiado dinero. So these trousers cost too much money. 5. So mi despertador suena todos los días a las 7:30. So my alarm clock goes off every day at 7:30. And yes, sonar literally means to sound. So this is how we say it. My waker sounds. So notice this despertador comes from the verb despertar. So despertador is the thing that wakes you up, okay? The waker up, so to say. 6. Mi padre siempre cuelga ropa. So my father always hang up the clothes. 7. Cuando quieras te demuestro que eso es verdad. So yes, this is querer, but this is subjunctive. So as you can see, you get the last vowel change. So we use this subjunctive a lot with cuando when we mean a possible future. So whenever you want, basically, yeah. So whenever you want, I can show you that is true. Mañana, 8, mañana volamos a Paris. So tomorrow we're flying to Paris. Yes, this is regular, as you can see. So no big deal. Should be very easy. Piece of cake, pan comido. 9. Mi amigo Pedro nunca devuelve los libros que le presto. So yes, devolver means to return something. So my friend Peter never returns the book I lent him. So presto is I lend. So the verb is prestar. Okay, this is to lend. 10. Yes, vosotros nunca recordáis los malos momentos. So you never remember bad moments. 10. Te ruego que no me chilles. So I beg you not to shout at me. So this is again subjunctive. How do I know? Because this is an IA verb, so in the normal one I say chillo, chillas. In subjunctive you always change the last vowel. as if it were another group. So for the ea verbs, if it's agent, it's gonna be a e. For the other two, er or ir is gonna be an a. It's kind of like the opposite to the normal present simple. Okay. Anyway, so I beg you not to shout at me. Te ruego que no me chilles. 12. Últimamente no duermo bien. So lately, so mente basically is ly. And remember, you need to use the feminine adjective to form the adverb. So last, you could say último, but you need to say última to form this lately. So lately, I can't sleep well, or I don't sleep well. All right. Next. A lot of work. Okay, let's practice all this. So mi padre corta el pan con el cuchillo. So this is a regular verb. So my father cuts bread with a knife. Los jardineros cuidan las plantas. So these are regular verbs. I'm gonna skip this one because I think it's just too easy. So I'm gonna do this one, which is regular one. So no podemos ir al cine. We can't go to the cinema. ¿Por qué no me dices la verdad? So this the thing belong to the e that goes to I verb. Okay, so the fear, you say digo. This has an H. Dices, dice. Okay. Decimos, decís, and dicen. This one is worth learning because we use this verb a lot because it means to say or to tell. So for example, what are you saying? You say, ¿qué dices? Or I don't understand what they're saying. No entiendo lo que dicen. Alright? So yes, this is a regular verb. It has the G one and it has the E goes to I irregularity. Sorry. I know. Anyway, everything that is worth learning takes effort, takes time, so don't worry too much. Just keep practicing. Stick to it, never give up. Because, believe me, learning Spanish is really worth learning. So number 3. Camino muy despacio porque estoy cansado. I walk very slowly because I'm tired. 4. Mi hermana trabaja en un banco. So my sister works in a bank. 5. Mi esposa y yo vivimos en Dallas. I live in Dallas, my wife and I. 6. José y Pablo no tienen miedo de nada. So they aren't afraid of anything. Literally of nothing. And yes, for some expressions we use tener, where in English you would expect to use the verb to be. So, for example, we say tener miedo, we say tener años, tener sueño, tener hambre. Queda a few more expressions like this. So tener miedo is to be afraid, tener años is to be whatever old, tener sueño is to be sleepy, tener hambre is to be hungry. But remember, we just say to have fear, to have hunger, to have thirst, to have years. This is just how Spanish expresses these ideas. You just have to learn it. Okay. So no, you cannot really translate word by word when you're learning a language. You should learn your vocabulary by chunks. Okay. So for example, a menudo is frequently. And remember that each language has its own personality or way of conveying ideas. So that's why I always teach you vocabulary into context, into a certain sentence, so you have context and you can learn all together. So with this kind of exercise, not only do you learn grammar, you also learn a lot of vocabulary, you learn expressions, and so on and so forth. Anyway, what was I? 7. Ahora puedes cantar en frente de todos. So now you can sing in front of everybody. So, puedes. 8. Mis perros ladran toda la noche. My dogs bark the whole night. 9. El árbol crece rápidamente. So the tree grows quickly with water. 10. ¿Por qué salen las muchachas? So yes, this is another G verb. So we say salgo, sale, sale, salimos, yeah. So salir means to exit or to go out, come out. 11. ¿Por qué siempre lloro cuando escucho esta canción? So why do I always cry when I listen to this song? Marco y yo bailamos juntos todos viernes con sol. Marco and I dance together every Friday at night. Let's move on. 13. Juegas todo el día en el parque. So do you play the whole day in the park? So yeah, this is a U goes to UE verb. I actually the only one that has this change. And remember this diphthong thing or any kind of regularity never happened for nosotros and vosotros. So you could use the majestic we, as we call it in Spanish. So like if you were so important that you cannot be I, you always use we. Like we the people believe. You could speak like that. It will sound very important, like a royal person, like aristocracy, right? Anyway, 14. Hoy no me siento muy bien. So yes, siento. I'm not feeling well today. So I'm not feeling well today. María no sale hoy sin su abrigo. So María is going out today without her coat. Jorge sigue trabajando en un... So this is a very good verb to learn. So this is seguir plus adjourn. So adjourn basically is a verb that ends in a-n-d-o or i-e-n-d-o ending. So whenever you want to say ing in English, in Spanish it's gonna be this ando yendo. Like here we have trabajando. Of course, if you remember, this comes from trabajar. So trabajar, trabajando. Vivir, viviendo. For example, comer, comiendo. So this is how we form gerunds or ing in English. So Jorge sigue trabajando en hotel. So sigue, this is the form you need. So this is a E goes to I verb, just like decir, if you remember. Decir, you say dice. Okay. So seguir means to follow or means still, especially when you have this gerund afterwards. It means like still. So George is still working in the hotel. In a hotel, sorry. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So more irregular verbs. Sorry, we need to practice them a lot. So perdón, no oigo nada. So this is another we verb. We are. You just remember this to form oigo y oyes. So oigo means I hear, oyes means you hear. So perdón, no oigo nada. So sorry, I can't hear nothing. Okay, remember you use double negative in Spanish. A las 7:30 salgo de casa todo el día. So at 7:30 I go out of my house every day. 3. ¿A qué hora sales de trabajo hoy? So what time are you getting out of your job today? Or you're getting out of work. 4. Mis amigos siempre tienen que hacer algo por las tardes. So my friends always have to do some. They always have something to do in the evenings or in the afternoon. 5. No sé, I don't know. Remember this? No sé qué dice. So I don't know what he says. No, I don't know what the teacher of math says. So remember this like an inversion. You use this inversion after this linking word, for example. It could be que, it could be donde, it could be any of these words, okay? 6. ¿Ustedes a qué hora vienen a verme mañana? So, you guys, what time do you come to see me? These are together. So, ver is see, y me is me tomorrow. 7. Los viernes salgo del trabajo más tarde. So, on Fridays, I get out of work more early or earlier. Yeah? Oops. Sorry. 8. Vosotros tenéis que estudiar mucho para lo. So you guys have to study a lot for Monday. 9. Nunca hago nada el domingo. So I never do anything on Sunday evening. So yeah, this is another regular one with a G. This is only for iPhone, like I do or I make. Siempre oigo ruidos en el bosque. So I always hear noises in the woods. Okay, next one. Yo siempre digo la verdad. I always tell the truth. Siempre digo la verdad. 2. María Dolores pone su libro en su escritorio. So yeah, this is sort of the G group verb. So we say pongo, I put, she puts, pone. 3. Hoy no vengo a casa porque tengo mucho trabajo. So hoy no vengo a casa. Today I'm not coming home because I have a lot of work. 4. ¿Qué haces? What are you doing this evening or afternoon? 5. Traigo. So this is another G group verb. Remember, this is only for yo form, okay? And only for a few verbs. For example, traer, hacer, decir, poner, salir, yeah? So, traigo de la tienda pan, leche, arroz y embutidos. So, I am bringing from the shop some bread, some milk, some rye, some cold meat. 6. Yo siempre consigo, so conseguir means to achieve or to get. So I always get what, so locate is what I want. So I always get what I want. 7. Los fines this is a typo. It should be just one. Okay, so los fines de semana. So at the weekends, salimos. So literally mean at the ends of week. Yeah, salimos con los amigos. So at the end of weeks, we go out with friends. Uh, of course, our friends. If you go on, si sigues por esta calle, so if you go on this street, you arrive at a square. So Plaza is a square. Not the shape, but the square in the street, of course. 9. ¿Usted qué hace a las 5? So what do you do at 5 in the evening? No sé, I don't know. I have no idea. No tengo ni idea. No tengo ni idea. This is a very good expression for you to learn. So, no tengo ni idea. Right? No tengo ni idea. I have no idea. Okay, we're gonna practice this interesar. So if you remember some verbs, just use two form of the verbs. This is like gustar. So basically, you just need to place one of these before the verb. So, a él no le interesa ir al cine. So he's not interested in going to the cinema. A María le interesa asistir a fiesta. So María is interested in going to the party. A los muchachos no les interesa ir al teatro. So the kids are not interested in going to the theater. A Rosa le interesa ir al zoo. So Rosa is interested in going to the zoo. A nosotros nos interesan las películas de historia. So we're interested in history films. By the way, these are el, a nosotros, a ti. It's not mandatory. It's optional. Only when you have a proper name, a proper noun, you have to, but it's not really. So, for example, this first one, you could simply say, no le interesa ir al cine, especially if we know by the context we talk about this guy, yeah? Anyway, without further ado, so 6, say, a Carlos le interesan los conciertos de la orquesta sinfónica. So Carlos is interested in the course of the symphonic orchestra. So notice here at the end you have either a or an. It all depends whether you have a one object behind or it's a plural. So, a ti te interesan los partidos de béisbol. So you're interested in baseball matches. 8. A Luis y a Rodrigo les interesan, so Luis and Rodrigo are interested in the lessons. 9. A ellos les interesan los partidos de baloncesto. So they are interested in basketball matches. A mí me interesan las películas románticas. So I am interested in romantic films. Let's practice this. So I won't read the first bit, except if I have a proper name. Okay. So 1. Me interesa aprender inglés. So I'm interested in learning English. 2. Me interesa viajar en tren. So I'm interested in traveling by train. By the way, if we happen to have several infinitive verbs, we still use the singular form of the verb, even though you have several verbs afterwards. Alright? 3. No nos interesa nada ir al teatro. So we are not interested at all in going to the theater. 4. Le interesa estudiar español. So you are interested in studying Spanish. I'm using the formal usted, that's why I said le. 5. Les interesa la música clásica. So they are interested in classical music. 6. A Pedro le interesa el arte. So Peter is interested in art. 7. No me interesan las películas. So I'm not interested in horror films. 8. le interesa montar caballos, so she's interested in riding horse or horse riding, okay? Or riding a horse, literally. 9. Nos interesa practicar deporte. So we're interested in practicing sports. And 10. A Rodrigo y a mí nos interesa ir a los museos. Rodrigo and I are interested in going to the museums. We're going to practice as well gustar. It works exactly the same way. So, me gusta el libro de francés. So I like the book of French. Or the book on French. Language, of course. 2. Me interesa el té verde. So I'm interested in... Sorry. Me gusta el té verde. I like green tea. A los niños no les gustan los pasteles. So kids don't like cakes. So the kids don't like the cakes. Or your cakes, actually. 4. Me gusta la música romántica. So I like romantic music. 5. Me gustan las películas de aventura. So I like adventure films or action films, yeah? 6. A los niños les gustan los dulces. So kids like pastry. 7. ¿A ti te gustan los libros? So do you like books? 8. A nosotros nos gustan los viajes largos. So we like long trips. A ellos les gusta andar en bicicleta. So they like riding a bike. A ellos les gusta dormir. So they like sleeping a lot. Okay, do this one as well. A nosotros nos gustan los deportes. Somos chicos muy dinámicos, dispuestos a entrenar a diario. A mí me gusta nadar. A él le gusta el tenis y al resto del equipo le gusta el fútbol. Nos gusta el entrenador, es muy profesional y a él le gusta dirigir el equipo porque somos muy obedientes. Nos gusta ir a la discoteca también, pero a nuestro entrenador no le gusta eso. Meaning, we like sports. We are boys. We are very dynamic boys, willing to train daily. I like swimming. He likes tennis, and the rest of the team like football. We like our trainer or coach. He's very professional, and he likes leading the team because we are very obedient. We like going to the nightclub as well, but our coach doesn't like that. B. Victoria es una niña que le gusta comer mucho. Le gusta el colegio y compartir con sus amigos. En su tiempo libre va al parque. Le gusta su bici y correr. A ella y a su madre les gustan los helados de Don Pepe porque son muy ricos. De regreso a casa, Victoria le dice a su madre: me gustan los gatos. ¿Puedo tener un gato? Meaning, Victoria, is a girl who likes eating a lot. She likes school, or that school literally, and sharing with her friends. In her free time, she goes to the park. She likes her bike and running, and her mother and she likes Don Pepe's ice cream because they are very yummy. coming back from home, coming back towards home, Victoria tells her mother, I like cats. Can I have a cat? Okay. Now we're going to work on reflexive verbs. So reflexive verbs are those that have a reflexive pronoun. So for example, me acuesto todos los días. So I go to bed every day at 11. So, por las noches me duermo siempre muy tarde. So at night I fall asleep very late. Ana y Laura se miran todo el tiempo. So Ana y Laura look at themselves the whole time in the mirror. Manuela se baña los domingos. So Manuela has a bath on Sundays. ¿A qué hora os levantáis? At what time do you get up? 5. No me relajo fácilmente. I can't get relaxed easily. Mis amigos y yo nos despertamos. So my friends and I get up at 7. 7. Tú no te llamas Isabel. Ese no es tu nombre. So your name isn't Isabel. That is not your name. 8. Sara se corta el pelo cada 3 meses. So Sara gets her hair cut every 3 months. 9. Ustedes se pierden con facilidad. So you guys get lost with easiness or easily, yeah? Yes. ¿Dónde os sentáis? So where do you guys sit down? 11. ¿Necesitas ayuda o te la usas? So you need help or do you wash yourself? Este ascensor se rompe continuo. So this elevator breaks down easily. This lift breaks down easily. Sorry, continuously. 13. Usted no se maquilla demasiado. So you don't do your makeup too much. Sergio y Jorge se afeitan todas las mañanas. Serge and George have a shave every morning. 15. Nos vestimos muy rápido. So we get dressed very quickly. 16. Os ducháis por la mañana o por la tarde. So do you have a shower in the morning or or at night? 17. ¿Me quito el abrigo o nos vamos? So shall I take off my coat or we leaving? 18. ¿Te peinas un poco y salimos? So, will you comb yourself a little bit and we get out? 19. Usted se pone crema en el cabello. So you put on cream on your face. 20. Pablo y Clara siempre se sientan juntos en clases. Pablo and Clara always sit down together in the classroom. Alright, I hope that helped you. It was a lot of exercise and all, but I think it was worth it. Have a wonderful day.